Styles, and today I'm going to read you a book called Daddy Longlegs. Chapter
A big problem.
October 3. Dear Daddy Longlegs, you wrote me a note, and it is in your own handwriting, which looked pretty wobbly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you've been sick. I wouldn't have bothered you if you know. Yes, I'll tell you my problem in a letter, but it's very private. Please burn this after you read. Before I began, here's a check for $1,000. It seemed funny to be sending to you a check. I still love my own, you $2,000, but I instead repay that. Where do you think I got my money? Publisher and bought my book. A publisher bought my book. You probably think I'm wild with joy, but I'm not because of my problem. I'm in love with Jeremy Pendleton. We're compatible in every way. We talk for hours and we have the same sense of humor. He's 14 years older than I am, but sometimes he seems like a boy. He still needs someone to remind him to wear his raincoat. I wish you could meet him and see how wonderful he is. The whole world seems empty without him. I hate the moonlight because he's not here to enjoy it with me. So, what's my problem? One day when he was here at the farm, we went for a long walk and a picnic. We had just finished our lunch when Jervy announced that he has a question for me. He seemed awfully nervous, but he got right to the point. Jervy took my hand and asked, Judy, will you marry me? Oh, Jervy, I said softly. He smiled at me. I know he thought I was pleased and I was happy, but I also miserable because there was no way I could marry him. I'm sorry, but I can't marry you. What do you mean? His face clouded over. I just sat on the grass, silent and miserable. Is that Jimmy Big Bride? He says angrily. Do you want to marry him? I shook my head. No, but I know Jerry didn't believe me. I never married Jimmy in a million years. He's not grown up enough. I can't believe that. What a foolish girl you are, Judy Abbott. Now I was angry. Don't call me a foolish girl. How dare you presume that I marry you? And then we both said some dreadful, hurtful things. We quickly packed up our picnic basket and returned to the farmhouse. Jerry left that afternoon. I haven't heard from him since. I couldn't tell him the truth. I refused his barber store because I love him so much. I know that sounds absurd, but I was afraid he would get marry me. And I couldn't stand that. You see, he knows I'm an orphan, but I never told him about the orphanage. It didn't seem right for someone of his background to marry someone like me. Who knows that my original family is like? They could be perfect, dreadful people. But there's another reason. You spend all this money to educate me as a writer, so I should at least give that a try. Although I guess I could be a wife and a writer too. This all happened about 2 months ago. I hadn't heard a word from Jerry since he was here. I was getting used to having a broken heart, but I got a letter from Julia, and that stirred me up again. She casually mentioned that her Uncle Jervis got sick while traveling in Canada. He has been ill ever since in pneumonia, and I never knew it. I imagine Jerry is pretty unhappy. And I know I am. What if I go to him, explain that the trouble isn't Jimmy McBride, but the John Weary home? Would that a terrible thing to do? You know a lot about the world, and you probably have a family. So I'd like your emotional opinion on this mess. Yours, Judy. October 6th. Dear Dan Longlegs, thank you for inviting me to visit you. I arrive next Wednesday at 4:30. I laughed when you asked if I could find a way. Of course I can. I've been to New York City before to visit Julia. I can't believe that I finally get to meet you. Sometimes I don't think that you're a real person. You're very nice to invite me when you aren't feeling well. Invited me when you aren't feeling well. Take good care of yourself. I just had an awful thought. Do you have trouble? Have butter? I'm afraid of butter. If one opened the door, I faint right there on your step. Affectionately, Judy. P.S. You never told me your real name when I arrived. Daddy Longlegs, Chapter
2.
Me.
Daddy Longlegs, at last.
Thursday morning. My very dearest Derby Dad Longlegs, Paddington Sniff. Did you sleep last night? I didn't. I was too excited and happy. I don't think I ever sleep again, but you must sleep so that you can get well and visit me. Yesterday I was most wonderful day of my life. As I live to the 99, I never forgot the tiniest detail. The girl who left Lock Willow Farm yesterday morning was very different from the one who returned. It was still dark when Mrs. Simple called me. Judy, it's 4:30. Time to wake up. You got a big day ahead of you. I quickly dressed and ran down for breakfast. Are you excited to go to New York City? Mrs. Simple poured me a cup of coffee. Oh yes, I'm going to see Daddy Longlegs. Daddy Longlegs? Mrs. Simple looked surprised. I mean Mr. Sniff. I never told her my nickname for you. I took the train to New York. When I arrived at your house, it looks so big and intimidating. I didn't even dare to knock, so I walked around the block to work up my nerve. But I should have been afraid. Your brother was such a nice, folly old man. He made me feel right at home. Is this Miss Abbott? He says right away. I didn't have to ask for Mr. Sniff after all. Yes, I replied. He'd be very glad to see you, Mrs. Your butler nodded. Please wait here. As I wait, I kept saying to myself, I'm going to see Daddy Longlegs. I'm going to see Daddy Longlegs. Soon the butler returned. Please come upstairs to the library, miss. I could barely contain my excitement as I followed him. Outside the library, the content excitement, I barely contained my excitement, and as I followed him. Outside the library door, the butler turned to me. He's been very ill, miss, the butler whispered. This is the first day he's been allowed to sit up. You won't stay too long. You won't stay too long. The doctor doesn't want him to get off excited. I could tell that your butler is very fond of you. Then I knock and says, Miss Abbott is here. Then he knocks and says, Miss Abbott is here. I went into the library, and the door closed behind me. The room was quite dim compared to brightly lit hallway. For a moment, I couldn't barely barely make out anything. Then I saw a easy chair in front of the fire. There's a tea table with a smaller chairs beside it. I realized that a man was sitting in a big chair, propped up with pillows. He had a blanket over his knee and started to stand up. "Oh, please don't trouble yourself," I says. "Sit down." But the man stood up, rudely shaking and steadying himself with the chair. He just looked at me without a word. My hand flew to my face in amazement. "Oh, Jervy, you're here!" I cried. "Did Mr. Snip ask you to come?" Then you laugh and held of your hand. "My dear Judy, you said as I took your hand. Didn't you guess the truth? I am Daddy Longlegs." "What?" In an instant, I realized what was going on. I sank onto a chair, heat flooding my face. "Oh, I've been so stupid. There were hundreds of clues. If I'd been paying attention." I shook my head. "I guess I wouldn't make very good detective." Jervy was grinning at me. "No, but I love you anyway." "I love you too." You paused for a moment to introduce yourself. "I can't go down on your knee. I can't go down on one knee, but will you marry me?" This time I didn't have to says no. "Of course." We spent a wonderful half hour together before your doctor came in. "Please don't tie him, miss," the doctor says, as he led me from the room. Though I must say, you've done him a world of good. He looked 10 years younger again. I was dazed that I could barely find my way to the train station, and then I almost took the train for St. Louis. You were pretty dazed yourself. You forgot to give me tea, but we're both so happy. This morning I've been out walking to all places we've been together. I wish you were here to climb the hills with me. I'm missing you dreadfully, Jervy dear. But it's happy kind of missing. We'll soon be together for the rest of our lives. At last, I belong to someone. That's a new feeling for me, and it's very sweet indeed. Yours forever, Judy. P.S. This is the first love letter I ever written. I hope you like it. And that's all. Goodbye.